Hi viewers, I'm your host Akil Emanuel and I'd like to welcome you to Akil Show. Today's our topic it's about ghosting. If you heard about the word ghosting, it is in trending right now and mostly people get ghosted by their friends, by their girlfriends or boyfriends if they're having a relationship and then they didn't heard anything about them. Today we're going to talk about the ghosting topic in my podcast. So I'd like to welcome Raina. Raina, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to have an interview with you. So, Raina, before we go to the topic, can I ask you a couple of questions which help our viewers to understand about the costing? I would like you to introduce yourself, about your family, your education, and a little bit about your culture.
Right. I'm from a super rural area in Saskatchewan, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So, from like a town of 100 people, super tiny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the youngest sibling out of my older sister. She has a family. She met her husband here, BYU, Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah, and because it's so rural in Canada, ghosting's pretty common just because it's super far away from everyone. So it's super easy just to ignore the problems.
I understand. So, what's your major?
Oh, I'm a marketing major.
Oh, marketing major. All right. So, as you said that in Canada, where you grown up, or the state where you born and grown up, it's easy for people over there to ghost people, right? I think it's going to be an interesting topic. So let's start. What exactly is ghosting and how does it happen?
I think ghosting, it's usually technology form, so usually like texting or on Instagram or things like that. So you're talking to someone, maybe talking stage of relationship, and then you just don't feel it working out, or the other person does, and they just stop answering. They just basically ignore you and they don't give you a reason.
All right. So according to you, what you think that is it a right thing to do with the people while you start having a friendship or you put yourself into relationship and suddenly you ghost that person? What's your opinion on it?
I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think it's kind of a cowardly move instead of just talking about how you feel. I think the only way it's okay is if the person could be dangerous or scary towards you. But other than that, I think you should be open with your feelings.
Oh yeah, that's a great explanation. Now, why do you think ghosting has become a common today? Why do people do it?
I think it's just so easy with technology now, just to block or just not answer and ignore it, and it's just easier than telling people.
That makes sense. Technology has made it easier to avoid uncomfortable situations, right? But is ghosting really the best way to handle things? Shouldn't people be more honest about why they are ending a relationships?
100%. And I think it hurts everyone when you just end the relationship like that because they don't know what they did wrong or why. It's kind of upsetting.
So if you go little detail, any of the situation or example you have in your circle or in your surrounding, do you like to share?
I've definitely been ghosted before. It's super tough. You're talking to someone, you think, oh, we could be friends or we could be more than that. And then they just stop answering. It kind of hurts. You don't really know what you did wrong. But I've ghosted people too. I'm not going to lie, it's easy, but it's not the right thing to do.
Okay, so like as you said that you've been ghosted. So when you've been ghosted, how was your feelings? How was your emotion? What trauma you going through when you faced ghosting in your life?
Well, when I faced a ghosting, I thought, I always think it's usually like, oh, it's my fault that I got ghosted. Maybe I was too clingy, maybe I was doing something wrong. And it just made me feel really bad.
And after when you ghosted people, so you've been ghosted, that was your first time being ghosted by somebody, or you already ghosted people in your past as well?
Yeah.
So you already ghosted people and then something happened to you that you've been ghosted by someone. So don't you feel the difference when you ghosted somebody and when you ghosted by someone? How is the balance? How is the difference between both things?
It was definitely a karma experience. You're like, oh, that's not the right thing to do. Definitely, I think guys can be a little bit more sometimes too forward and a little bit like, okay, but maybe you should talk to them about it instead of just ghosting.
Oh yeah, I understand, like especially in terms of dating culture, I feel like as a man we are actually fast sometime and the women's are like to go in the slow mood because if they don't know the person, like you just going to get to know each other, right? Then you have to have patience, and if Heavenly Father choose that girl or that boy for you, then definitely it's gonna be work. So you don't have to be rushed. But if you know somebody, have a friend circle, or you know that person beforehand, and then you start dating, then I feel like it's not go. You cannot do ghosting that person because you already know that person,
Really,
and
yeah.
then you be open with your feelings and emotions, and you share that person. Okay, we are good friends in the past, and now we dating, and after dating, we realize like we are not have the same goals, right? But especially for those strangers who just start getting to know each other, and then sometimes people get frustrated or overwhelmed, and they feel like maybe if we express ourselves, we try to be mean or rude.
Mhm.
So it's better not to say anything, just ghost that person.
It's done. Yeah, it's a lot easier with mutual now, lots of online stuff, because it's
Mm-mm.
hard to ghost when you know the person, because you're going to see them around campus, and that's awkward. But with the rise of, all the new apps and stuff.
Yes. So according to you, do you think that the new apps, this online dating, it's helped people to be friendly with each other, or they create problems for the people, especially the youngsters?
Well, I've met my last boyfriend through the mutual app, so that was great, super great. I've also met a lot of wrong guys, a lot of creepy guys on apps as well, and it goes. But it's a lot harder to go through dating through this online kind of way.
Yep, makes sense. Exactly. It's important to communicate and be honest. That's what I expect in any relationship with your family, with your friends, or even if you're dating someone. I felt like it's better to communicate and be honest, so that then it depends on next person. That person try to be your friend or move on with you, or he said that okay, we done, we don't wanna continue. But at least you have to be honest to yourself rather than be honest to the other person, because the personality which I have, I felt like if I'm not honest to myself, I cannot be honest to the other person as well. I always try to play game, but actually I'm not playing game with that person, I'm playing game with myself. So have a clear communication, try to be polite and humble, and share your emotion. If you not feel it is right way, express. You cannot change people mindset, but you can help them understand what you're going through. Make sense? But what should we do if we've been ghosted? How can we handle it?
I think the best way is to, if you see them like on campus or in person, to make sure there's no like communication errors or anything like that. Like maybe, I don't know, they just weren't using the app or weren't, texting or didn't have Instagram or anything like that. But if that's not possible, just kind of have to move on a little bit and see what else there is, and don't take it too personal.
That's a very great advice. So it's important to remember that it's not always about us personally, right? And we should focus on moving forward and taking care of ourselves, which is very important. What are some other ways we can avoid ghosting in our own relationships?
On relationships. Well, I think one way is not to get into relationships if you're not ready for a relationship. Sometimes you start off with someone, talking with someone, and then you just think, I don't want this. It's better to communicate that than just dip. And then just, make sure it's the person you want to be talking with. And, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
So absolutely, communication and honesty are so important. Every time when we go through any question, it's end with communication and honesty. So I think these are the keys if you want to be successful in your life, regardless what other people think about you. But it's good to communicate. Communication is very important. Lastly, do you think ghosting will continue to be a problem in the future, or will things change?
I think it's going to be a problem in the future. I don't think it's going to change. I think it's just going to become more normal. Especially with the rise of online, I think it's just going to be a part of life.
Okay, so what's your advice to the people who've been ghosted by somebody, or who try to do ghosting people? What you give advice to them?
If it's not meant to be, it's not to be. Find someone who doesn't want to ghost you, or you don't want to ghost someone you truly care about. And you'll want to impress them, you'll want to make the effort, and they'll want to make the effort with you to talk to you. I think that's important.
All right, Raina, thank you so much for sharing your insight. I feel like these kind of a little topic are very important for the youngsters, especially the single adults who are struggling with dating thing and friendships, and they feel like maybe like if we talk to somebody, I don't know how they react, or if they start dating that person and then they've been ghosted, so they just have that perspective in their mind that all the people are like that because of their experience. But I will tell you, my friends, life is so beautiful. Don't judge people on the base of their actions, right? And I feel like if you give more opportunities to yourself, you will learn more, because life is all about experience. So sometimes you have good experience, sometimes you have bad experience, but overall, it's a learning process. That's what I learned in my life. Even though I have hard time comes in my life, challenges, bad times, I always learn something. And then I don't repeat that thing. I improve myself. So you don't have to improve other person, you have to improve yourself. If something happened wrong to you, try to ponder yourself and see where you are wrong. So don't repeat it. I hope our podcast will help you to understand the ghosting topic. If you have any questions, you can write your question on comment section. Like our video, subscribe my channel for the new and upcoming podcast. And thank you so much for listening to us. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye bye.